What's up, I'm Dualex. I'm going to show you this trailer real quick. Alright, so there's not much going on the outside, but there is a fantastic fan up on the front of the trailer, and then there's a max air fan in the back. So when you first get in, first thing you see is the living room and the kitchen, but we're going to start off the tour in the bedroom. So down this hallway we got two doors, but in this one in the back, this is the bedroom. When I first bought the trailer, this was basically just a room with a bed in it. But I wanted to make sure that I maximized the storage space in here and made it so that I could utilize more features while I'm in this bedroom. In most RVs, they don't take into account someone actually living in one of these things. They just kind of want you to camp in it. So the storage is really not prioritized when they're building this. They just kind of want to have a space for you to sleep. And now there's ample storage space, so you'd never even really be able to fill it up. So that's why I put in the storage up here. This entire area right here is built-in storage so that you can get to that from underneath in the back, as well as on the other side underneath the bed. And then this entire wall is just storage as well. That closet area is actually a slide. I kind of just rebuilt it to make it look a lot better and make it a little bit wider. So originally they just had a pass-through going underneath the bed in the back, but I opened up the entire thing so that it would be able to house more. I wanted to keep the lighting dimmer in here than in the rest of the trailer. And going along with that theme, I also put in these room darkening window shades. And this is also an openable window. It's an emergency exit, so if I needed to, I can hop right out that window. And then up here, this is the TV, and this folds up to the ceiling, but when it's in its down position, it's in the perfect spot. You lay there and watch whatever you want. So I had to make sure that I made this a little bit homey for myself. So I had one of my best friends build me this. He actually has a flag company. This is one of the street maps that I actually do on my woodshop website. I have a whole website of me building wall art and stuff that, you know, I just ship straight to people's doors. UPS, man. So the cool thing about the bedroom is it's actually connected to the bathroom. There's two ways to get in here. Not only can you get in through this hallway, but also through this other sliding door that goes through the bathroom. So if you wanted to come in straight from this side, you can do so. So the storage from the bedroom continues into the bathroom. By the way, this is the bathroom. Over here, I just have the mirrors set up. These are actually all put on here with Velcro so that when I move the trailer, I can just take them down so nothing falls off and breaks. Up here, this is the fantastic roof vent I was talking about earlier. It can actually bring air in or suck air out. This is the DIY composting toilet that I built so that you don't have to spend $1,000 or $2,000 on a composting toilet. Solids go in the back, liquids go in the front, two separate tanks, and then you just empty them out as they fill up. And you use a medium for the solids so it doesn't stink. The original shower in here was leaking, moldy, and just creating a lot of problems. So I actually replaced the shower walls with corrugated metal, and then the back wall behind the shower faucet is actually cedar, and I waterproofed it with epoxy. And then I also put another cedar floor down there so it would be more comfortable while you're showering. You kind of feel like you're in like a resort while you're showering in here. Got the rain shower head here as well, the handheld shower part, so you can use either one. There's actually a skylight above the shower, so it adds a ton of light into this room. If you're tall, this is actually a dome. You can like stick your head inside of there. And this shower rod, a lot of people were asking me where I got this, but I just made this out of black steel pipe, and this is just a regular shower curtain, so I just put this in so it goes around here. And then once you're in here, this curtain is working pretty well to keep all the water inside. I've never had any water fall outside of the shower at all, and these half walls have been holding up great. Over here, this is the sink. This is actually just a wood bowl, and I epoxied the wood bowl and then put a drain in it so that while the water's running in there, it's not going to get damaged or anything. So you'll notice I actually have two faucets over here, and this one is a hand pump faucet. I did that because when the trailer gets cold, it's possible that the water tanks can freeze. So just in case that happens, I have a tiny water tank put underneath this cabinet just in case the main water tank freezes outside. You have a backup. This is where all the switches are that control most of the functions in this trailer. This is how you control the slides to make them come in and out. This is a light switch for this bathroom. This is the control for the water heater. This is the water pump. You can turn it on and off here. And then this is the control so you can see the battery level, fresh water tank, black water, which I don't use, so it's always empty, gray water, and the galley sink is actually the kitchen. So that's basically it for the bathroom. So if you walk back out here into the hallway, now we're heading back into the living room again. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the living room, so we're just gonna start up at the front with this wall right here. When I first got the trailer, this was just empty space right here, and it was just kind of a broken, beat up wall, but it did have this electric fireplace built into the wall already, so I wanted to reutilize that. And these cabinets over here were already here, but all I did over here was just paint these, change out the doors, and then I reinstalled this radio. And this radio actually is connected to speakers in the ceiling, and there's two sets here, two sets in the back near the kitchen, and there's also a set outside. There's always in every living room just wires hanging around that you don't necessarily always want to see. I wanted to do my best to hide those. So what I did was I just ran one wire from the TV through the ceiling and over to this area, and I just made a false wall. So if you look at this, it just looks like a wall, but if you pull it out, it's actually a doorway, and on the inside of that doorway, this is where I just threw all the wires in, and that's okay because once you close the wall, you won't see what's going on. But I put my game systems in here, DVD players, whatever, and then when you close this, you never know that there's anything in there. And then speaking of hiding wires, I have more wires to hide. Everybody knows that you have to charge up phones, iPads, laptops, stuff like that. So this mantle right here just looks like a regular mantle for the fireplace, but mantles are kind of useless. So I decided to make a door on this as well. So this is hollow, and it goes all the way back about 2 feet to the original wall that's back there. And then I put plugs in here as well so that I can charge all of my stuff up in here. Just have all the wires hanging out, doing crazy stuff, but it doesn't matter because as soon as you close it up, you don't know what's going on in there. It just looks like a wall. Then this fireplace down here is actually just an ambient light that you can turn on and off. These two switches over here actually control the heat coming out of this vent right here. And then that down there is just cosmetic. It's pretty good for heating up this little space right in front of the fireplace if you don't want to turn on the furnace to heat up the entire trailer. This entire space right here is actually a slide out. So this slide, when you're moving the trailer, is all the way in here and taking up this space here. So by pushing it out, you have a ton more room in here to walk around. And I decided to use this area as the couch space and put the TV straight across. The front part of this cabinet is actually just a regular functional cabinet with a sliding barn door, but it only goes back a few inches because the back half of this is housing the TV. So all you have to do is hit this button on the remote, and then it raises the TV up because I mounted the TV to a linear actuator that's in that back half, in that fake portion of the cabinet, and I actually just mounted the countertop to the top of the TV bracket, and that lifts the whole thing up when I hit this button. Most of the time in RVs, for some reason, they always have the TV in a weird spot, like it was like an afterthought, but I actually like playing video games, watching TV, so I decided to make it like straight across from here to just be in the perfect spot. And this is like a 4-seater couch, so I really wanted to make sure I had enough room for me and all of my friends to just sit in here and hang out. And then this, once I had this couch in here, dictated how big I was going to make my desk and table area on this side. So I put enough space on this side for 2 people to sit, and this is actually an ottoman that I built to match the couch, but when it's over here, it's an additional seat for the table. However, if you pull it out, then you can put it here and then use it as an actual ottoman for the couch. And there's actually a hinge on this, so you can pull it up and then you can store additional stuff in here. But then over here in my workspace, you could just sit here, do your work, eat your food or whatever you're gonna do. But this box down here that I'm sitting on is actually a storage chest. So in order to get into that, all you gotta do is move the stuff that's sitting on top of here, pick up this cushion, and underneath there you have access to everything that's underneath there, just more miscellaneous living room stuff. And then these windows have the same window shades that I showed you back in the bedroom. So pretty easy, just roll them down and then they stay in place, and then you just roll them up, get them out of the way. You can just get those at Lowe's or Home Depot in the shade section, and they're pretty cheap. They're like $10 or $20 depending on how big you get them. Then these lights here are actually just regular light sockets, and I just wired them for 12 volts. So you'll be able to see everything in the entire room with just one of these lights on, because they're way more efficient than the original lights that came in the trailer. I left a few of the original lights in here, like this one right here, and as you can see, it has like a kind of a yellow light to it, and these are a lot more inefficient. I kept these in here if I wanted to have a dim light on and I didn't want to have it to be super bright, then I don't have to use those. Above here, this is the over cabinet storage, and I put up these lid supports here, and they're locked in so they can't like fall on your head or something. You have to actually push it in to make it go down. And then that pretty much brings us into the kitchen. When I first got the trailer, this did have the original U shape to it, but I changed this up a lot because it had a lot of wasted space. The countertop was some weird like plasticky material, so I actually used laminate flooring. I was able to just kind of refinish it, and it was a cheap way to make a countertop quickly. This is actually a outlet, so if you pull this up, it comes up out of the countertop so that you can plug in whatever you need to. I like to plug my blender in right there. We've got USBs plugged in there as well, so I can charge up my phone while I'm here washing dishes, cooking, or whatever. So I actually have the furnace mounted under here, and that's the vent for the furnace. Actually able to make a drawer that fit over the furnace. So if I slide this out like this, I was able to kind of make like a little pantry and spice rack. So when I close this, the cool thing about that is when you close it, it just kind of looks like the rest of the wall. Like you have no idea that there's actually anything in there. There's actually drawers here, you know, just regular kitchen storage stuff. Got the junk drawer, you know, got a drawer just specifically for tea because I had so many drawers I had to just start making stuff up to put in there. I wanted to be able to use as much countertop space as possible, so I just made a small section of counter out of some pine boards, and I can just move this over right here, and now I have access to the sink underneath. And this is actually a 3-foot wide sink. I think it's 3 feet wide by 18 inches or something like that. I decided to do a bar sink because I hate washing dishes, so I just wanted to make this thing massive and then just put more countertop on top of it so that I'd be able to wash my dishes comfortably. And you can just kind of wash out the entire sink because you have just tons of room to move this around. And a lot of people were asking me where the water comes from in this trailer, but there's a water tank underneath the trailer, so I can probably wash dishes 3-4 times, take 2 or 3 showers before I have to refill that back up. And I just kind of fill it up with hose water that comes from the main house on this land where I have the trailer parked. This area is just additional countertop space, and I had to put the water heater underneath this area because it was pretty big. The original setup of the trailer had it over here, so I moved it over here so I'd be able to use this area for more storage. Over here, this is the stove and oven combo that came with the trailer. I had to do a little bit of moving around with the propane, but I was able to get this to actually work because when I got it, it didn't actually work properly. And then there's a microwave up top, and then another tiny cabinet, but this one actually, you can get to all of this space underneath here. So the backsplash is actually not real tile, this is just peel and stick. Down here, this is the fuse box and the breakers for the trailer, so you push that in, open it up, it gives you access to all that stuff. I've got the propane detector down there as well, so if any propane is leaking, you want to keep that down because propane is heavier than air. This is the pots and pans drawer, so I just keep everything down there that I need to cook with. And this cabinet right here actually gives me access to all of the functions of the sink. If I go through this one, there's actually a wall right here that I can take out so I can get back in there behind to get to the water heater that's back here. Of course, you have to throw things away, but I don't really like to keep my trash can visible. So I built a trash can cabinet right here, right next to the TV, just to kind of match it. And this opens up and you've got your trash can in right there so that you don't have to, you know, have it out and about and visible and whatnot. of the entire trailer. So thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. And if you want to see me building this trailer start to finish, then I have a video that I just came out with recently. You've probably seen it already because it has 1 million views, but just in case you haven't, go check that out. And then if you want to know any type of detailed builds that I did, like how I did each room, then check out my build series that's also up on my YouTube channel. Just search the videos, you'll see it in there. I've got the bedroom, bathroom, living room, floor, kitchen, all that stuff set up and ready to go if you want to see any of that stuff in detail. And check out dualexbuilds.com, and on that website there's a donation thing set up, so like I'll put my build plans on there for free, and then you can download them if you want to, and then if you want to pay for them you can, but if you don't want to pay for them, don't pay for them. Or if you can't afford to pay for them, please do not actually pay me anything. You can pay me any amount, it's just whatever you want. Oh yeah, by the way, if you look out that window right there, you'll see that there's another tiny travel trailer, single axle. It's only 15 feet long. It's a lot more van sized, if I do say so myself. So I'm actually going to be doing that trailer next, start to finish new build series. So if you're interested in seeing that, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you there.
Never at ease, I don't know a limit. Chasing a dream, I don't know what sleepers. I got a queen, she lit me the evening. She ripe like a peach and she snapped me the snippet. I'm well overdue for that link up in person. Text me to fall through its murder, she wrote it. Still up with courage, you're doing a service. Pull up to the crib, I'm equipped with the brushstrokes. Cutthroat from the low, where no love goes. Women buddy like it's been that. Wanna fuck me looking at the bill stack.